AWS architecture principles and decoupling are some of the important concepts that you need to keep in mind when designing any cloud application. So let's take some important questions to understand and decode all these important concepts and also prepare for the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam. Let's get started. So let's begin another very exciting episode number 54, question number 346. Now the question is asking you what approach to transcoding a large number of individual video files adheres to the AWS architecture principle. Your options are option A, using many instances in parallel, option B, using a single large instance during off-peak hours, option C, using dedicated hardware, and option D, using a large GPU instance type. And now that we're talking about the large number of individual video files, the very first thing we would of course need is parallel processing. So that's why, my friends, option A is the correct answer. And in case you're not aware about what are the different AWS architecture principles, then you can refer this documentation given here. From my side, I can tell you this is a very important concept, AWS architecture principles, and there can be multiple questions in the exam. So let me very quickly take you through all these design principles. So AWS architecture principles, they emphasize on scalability, elasticity, and parallel processing. And when transcoding a large number of video files, that was the ask of the question, the best approach would be to distribute the workload across many instances in parallel rather than relying on a single large instance. And this approach aligns with the distributed computing model in the cloud environment and allows for the faster processing. And I can also explain you why the other options are incorrect. So the option B, my friends, this will not scale well and introduces bottlenecks, so increasing the processing time. So that's why we would not need a single large instance. Then coming to the option C, using dedicated hardware. Well, AWS, it promotes on-demand scalability rather than requiring dedicated infrastructure, which can be really expensive and inefficient. So that's why this is also incorrect one. Coming to the last option given here, where it says using a large GPU instance type, this one of course is also not correct, because while the GPUs, they really help with the transcoding, using one large GPU instance, that will not scale efficiently for the high volume workloads. So that's the reason we have discarded this option as well. Moving on with the next question, question number 347, that says that you work as an on-premises MySQL database administrator. Now the work of the database configuration, backups, patching, and the DR can be time consuming and repetitive. So that's why your company has decided to migrate to the AWS cloud. Which of the following can help save time on the database maintenance so that you can focus on the data architecture and performance? What are the options given? Option A, Amazon RDS, option B, Amazon Redshift, option C, Amazon DynamoDB, and option D, Amazon CloudWatch. Now looking at the complete question and the details given in the question, I can tell you the correct answer is option A, Amazon RDS. Well, Amazon RDS, it automates many of the time consuming tasks such as database configuration, backup, patching, and the disaster recovery. And it is this optimization that really allows you to concentrate on optimizing the database performance and the architecture. And friends, more on fully managed databases and the services can be read on this documentation. And here you can read that the database management is undifferentiated heavy lifting for many organizations. And of course, your data is the most valuable asset for your organization. And not just that, you get the cost-effective scaling of the compute power and storage, easier capacity planning. So this is the documentation that you can refer and understand all about the AWS RDS. And post that, you can also understand what are the benefits of the Amazon RDS. And not only that, you will be able to understand the use cases for the same. So here you can see the Amazon RDS can help you build web and mobile application. You can also use it to move to the managed databases and also break free from the legacy databases. So that's how the Amazon RDS help you out. With that, let's move on to the next question. And yes, do not miss to watch the next episode where I'm bringing some of the latest and the most important concepts on the AWS cloud computing. And also you can avail all the PDF files with the questions and the answers on multiple exam series, and for that consider pressing the join button or email me at connectus@thetechblackboard.com. Question number 348 that says that which of the following benefits does the AWS compliance program provide to the AWS customers, and please note that you have to choose two correct options. Let's read the options given here. Option A, it verifies that the hosted workloads are automatically compliant with the controls of the supported compliance frameworks. Then we have option B, AWS is responsible for the maintenance of the common compliance framework documentation. Option C, it ensures the use of compliance frameworks that are being used by other cloud providers. And option D, it will adopt new compliance frameworks as they become relevant to the customer's workload. And lastly, option E, it ensures customers that AWS is maintaining physical security and data protection. Now the options are really confusing. Let me give you the correct answer first. So here it comes. First of all, we have option B and then we have option E as the correct answer. Let me give you some more explanation here. So AWS has a compliance program that helps the customers meet security and regulatory requirements by maintaining documentation for the common compliance frameworks. So here we have compliances like ISO 27001, HIPAA, PCI DCS. And further on, it ensures the physical security and the data protection controls are in place for the AWS infrastructure. And let's try to understand why other options are not correct. Well, AWS provides the compliance tools, but the customers are responsible for ensuring their workloads comply. Now coming to the option C here, well, AWS, it really maintains its own compliance programs, and that's why it doesn't guarantee alignment with the other cloud providers. And with that bit of information, let's move to the next question, question number 349, that says, in order to implement best practices when dealing with a single point of failure, you should attempt to build as much automation as possible in both detecting and reacting to the failure. Which of the following AWS services would be helpful? You have to choose two correct options. First of all, we have ELB, which means elastic load balancing. Then we have option B, auto scaling, option C, Amazon Athon, option D, ECR, and lastly option E, Amazon EC2. Now let's look at the correct options. First of all, we have ELB, and then we have option B, auto scaling. Let me very quickly explain ELB. Now the ELB, my friends, the elastic load balancing, it really helps you distribute incoming application traffic across multiple targets such as EC2 instances, which really enhances the fault tolerance and ensures the high availability. What about the auto scaling? See, auto scaling automatically adjusts the number of EC2 instances in response to the changing demands, and this ensures that your application has the right amount of capacity to handle the load and recover from the failures. These will work together to detect and react to the failures, maintaining the resilience and availability of your applications. Let's move on to the next question, question number 350, that says a company's web application currently has light dependencies on underlying components. So when one of the component fails, the entire application fails. Now this is certainly not the good design. Now the question asks you, applying which AWS cloud design principle will address the current design issues. Now the options given are implementing elasticity, enable the application to scale up or scale down as demand changes. Option B, enabling several EC2 instances to run in parallel to achieve better performance. Then we have option C, focusing on the decoupling component by isolating them and ensuring individual components can function when the other components fail. And lastly, option D, decoupling EC2 computing resource to increase the system fault tolerance. Well, I hope you have understood all of the options, and based on the information given in the question and looking at all of the options, I can tell the correct answer would be option C, focusing on decoupling components by isolating them and ensuring individual components can function when the other components fail. So that is the correct answer. And let me tell you that we really discussed the concept of decoupling in part 52, question number 339. So please do watch that question as well, and you will really understand the concept of decoupling. So in case you're ready to take on the exam series on both Microsoft Azure and Amazon AWS, then you can surely benefit from our multiple exam series on both of these top cloud providers. And not just that, we also keep on making videos on free exam vouchers insights into the world of generative AI, artificial intelligence, and also machine learning. And yes, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, press that bell icon, and also do not miss to select that all option so that you are receiving all the timely notifications. And that's all for today. I will see you in the next video. Till then, stay fit, keep learning, and thanks for watching.